Hello, it's me. It's Kevin Vonesper. I'm back in my Evil Kitty shirt. Because we have Evil Kitty Keith today. It's his birthday. He is going to premiere some videos I may or may not be involved in. And yeah, we're just going to bring him on. This is going to... Happy Thanksgiving. Happy birthday.
Woohoo! Happy
Woohoo.
birthday to me.
Yeah. Is that annoying having your birthday on a holiday? Do you feel like it's diminished or?
I mean, is Thanksgiving really a very big holiday? I mean, I get my day off. I get the day off, and it's not always on Thanksgiving. It's like once every
Right.
7 years on Thanksgiving, and it's a free day off during my birthday week. So
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I'll take that. It's better than Christmas. I feel bad for anybody born on Christmas. That would suck because
Or Halloween.
there's gifts involved in both. Yeah, but even Halloween's not. But like gifts, like I'd love to ask somebody born on Christmas. Do you feel like someone just bought you Christmas gifts and just picked one out and called it your birthday gift and everything else? It's not. It's kind of bullshit.
That's true.
Whereas at least there's no gifts on this. Hey, Chialela, bom dia, boa noite.
We have Brazilians in the house.
We have Brazilians in the house.
Can they understand us?
I don't know.
Happy birthday.
Falo no Portuguese. It's pretty awesome. Big Brazil win.
Whoa, is this a sports thing? Did sports things happen? I'm so oblivious to sports.
There's something going on right now called the World Cup. Brazil's the #1 team in the world, and they won today. So Brazil
that's
celebrating.
Football, right?
That's futebol. Yeah, it's futebol.
Yeah. Futebol.
Which is big for probably a lot of like Brazil. It's obviously.
Did they win?
Huge.
Is it over or
they won? Well, they won today, 2-0. It's early, but it's pretty awesome. How's that, Beatriz? Now she understands English, so be careful. So she'll know if you're saying something mean. She speaks English very well.
Well, I don't really have much shit to talk about.
You actually met all these people at my wedding.
I'm sure I did. It's kind of a blur. I mean, I only knew like 3 people in that whole place, so.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We got a lot of people coming. This is cool.
Well, hello. That was how many years ago? 20.
It's 20 plus. It'll be 21.
Is it 20 plus?
It was 20 this July.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 20 years back to your sword.
Meeting somebody one night 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Sure, I believe
and then I know Bia and my wife's sister came to visit us, and we took them to like Disney and the whole Florida vacation thing. So yeah, it's very cool.
What time is it there?
Oh God, I don't know. It gets confusing.
Late or early?
I'd have to look because it gets funky. Because when we turn our clocks forward, they turn theirs back, and they turn theirs forward. When we turn it, so it gets all different times.
That we are not going to be doing that anymore, right? Is that true?
There's a bill in Congress to stop that.
I thought it passed. I thought this was the last one that they were doing.
I don't think it passed. I think it's on the table. Now you just had the new elections for the new Congress. So I don't know, but the bill is there to be passed. I know that.
Yeah, I kind of hope. I'm for getting rid of daylight saving times. It's stupid.
I agree.
Dumb. It's just like,
I love turning.
So what if the sun comes up at a different time? That's just like how it is.
Well, yeah, and remember, it was originally done for farmers, and it was originally done for.
Yeah.
So it's 23. So it's 11 o'clock there.
PM. Okay.
So yeah, so they're 2 hours ahead.
Geez, you got the whole continent here.
I know. See that?
Is anyone here from America?
Often. I bring in your international crowd.
Yeah, I suppose so.
And even more so eventually. And then the replay, you'll probably get even more because you'll get England, but it's way too late. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Who do we know in England?
My singer from one of the bands we're going to be premiering a song for today.
Yeah. By the way, I haven't watched any of these videos yet, so
you're going to be.
It'll be my first time reaction. Yeah, I partially by design, thought I'd leave something to the show, and I prepared so much for last week's show. This week was like a vacation. It's like, yeah, send me some shit.
So we'll kind of go through some stuff now, but we'll kind of hold off on the Dedic8 because Greg is going to try to join.
Okay, cool.
So if Greg can
on
come
video?
on, we'll get him. Hopefully, I sent him the link. I sent him
Okay,
your link. So he's going to try, but he's at Thanksgiving with his phone right now.
I'm a trouble.
Hey, I am trouble. Yeah, that's my brother-in-law, João, who you met him as you met him as a fetus because Elise was pregnant with him at the wedding.
Jeez.
But now he's grown up. He was in the military.
Able to drink yet?
He can drink. He can shoot guns.
God.
He can. he
feel
can probably beat both
now.
of us.
Wow, it is a party in here.
And there's my sister-in-law.
Jeez.
Thank you, Duda.
Wasn't she like really young when I was there?
Yeah, she was the one. I remember we had the Lilo and Stitch toy at the dinner, and you kept playing with her at the table, and she was probably
not really.
She was probably 4 or 5.
I don't really remember.
But that makes her so you
but
want to
I
feel
believe
old.
you.
So when you met her, let's say she was 4, right? So that means she's like 24 now.
Jesus Christ.
just to give you a thought on how old. She's a full-on adult working.
Well, thank God I'm feeling old and it's not even my birthday.
Fun times.
How dare I ask? How old are you?
We're not gonna go. I stopped counting.
Yeah.
Once
do you even know?
I had to do the math, but yes, I know. And I know
like a wedding reflection. Should I play the wedding video? I could pull it up.
Do you have the wedding video?
I think so. The one I made.
You could.
I don't know what kind of music is in it though. I forget. I did bookmark the archive, the Rankin archive, in case I wanted to pick through it, which is a private link, but you know.
We can show us some family clips.
Yeah, perhaps. I didn't think about that one. I don't know. Would it be embarrassing?
I don't know why. I mean, we were young and better looking, and
I don't know. I think I'm better looking now, but I was very young.
You were.
Yeah. Should we put it on?
Sure. Let's do it.
Have the Brazilians seen this?
Some, maybe not all of them.
Oh,
so they may see themselves on some of this. Let's see.
This is gonna be rough. I mean, this is me and a little camcorder in Brazil. Let's see. I might have to turn the sound off. Oh yeah, definitely. That's copywritten stuff. So we'll have visuals. You can do commentary on it.
Yeah, 2002. So yeah, 20 years.
I don't know what I'm saying. I can't play the music, so I'll get dinged. That's Dedic8.
That hotel is right on the beach.
Yes, there will be footage of that too, I'm sure. And yes, that was
glad you're showing the toilet. That's great.
that was the exciting part of my trip right here, this hotel room.
Although I will tell you, the best toilet I ever had, if we're gonna get in a toilet talk, was in Tokyo.
Why not?
Tokyo is the best toilet you'll ever have.
How come we're so behind on this? Like,
I don't know.
It's so silly. We got to get up on that.
But Tokyo has like the built-in bidet system, so like you get fully cleaned before you get off the pot, which is amazing. I loved that.
This like actually looks like what I have in my car now too. Like it's not
hasn't changed it in 20 years.
I mean, it keeps here's the view from the window.
Yeah, except you screwed up though. These are all like mostly tourists because you did like the
well, I was just
stuff.
in my hotel room. Yeah, I guess they were.
There's me with the awful beard looking like a serial killer.
Yeah, what's up with that? Have you reflected on your fashion choices?
I keep changing it. You know, I had a mohawk earlier this year. I mean, I keep keeping it fresh.
They haven't.
I don't see. She said.
They haven't seen this yet. Close look.
Close the toilet. Good night, birthday. Oh, thank you, Pi. Boom. That's my father-in-law. Checking in. Hoosier. I think that's actually in one of the videos we're going to be playing later today.
Yeah, that was a show. Well, you went to that tour twice, but I went to the second. I went to the second one. I think there was some different personnel.
I think
maybe.
Gary Glitter was on one of them.
One of them I have the one I went to I have a bootleg of.
And the drummer was it Ringo Starr's son, Zach?
Yeah,
Wasn't it
Zach
Zach
Starkey,
Starkey? Mm-hmm. It was a good show.
friend of friends of mine.
It's the greatest soda in the world. Guaraná, Antarctica.
Oh
You can get
yeah.
that. It's the greatest.
What was I gonna say? Oh, you know Sammy played with The Who recently?
I think you said that. Was it part of an orchestra deal?
Yeah, so they're kind of doing this thing where I guess it's just like the bare
Oh, there's
bones.
dad
Yeah.
and mom.
Um, and then every tour stop they have an orchestra, a local orchestra playing with them on stage. So he was part of the local orchestra in one of the shows. So he was like playing like a stadium with The Who. It's nuts.
That's George. So we are just talking about Beatrice. That's her father. There's my father-in-law. That was Duda.
Oh
That's
wow,
my sister-in-law.
that's nuts.
And I remember, I think she was throwing some kind of a little fit before, and we were trying to get her to stop crying so she could, because she was our ring bearer or flower girl, or she was definitely there. Yep. So Beatrice's father, George, was my best man because I needed someone who could translate because the whole ceremony was in Portuguese and I needed to understand what I was agreeing to. And there was one word they couldn't translate. So they were like, something, we don't know. I'm like, okay. I guess I'll sign the document and just trust.
I think it seems like it worked out.
Seems like it was okay.
Did you have to sign different paperwork in America? Or
Yeah,
how did that work?
We had to get our marriage certificate certified and translated and then sign something. Yeah. So technically, we're married in two different countries.
I could tell you what music is playing here, but I can't play it for you. Well, you could tell them, I'm sure.
Well, I don't know if you used the actual song.
I think I did, yes.
It was our wedding song was "In Your Eyes" by Peter Gabriel, which I'm sure if you play, you'll get in trouble because I'm sure he's very.
I'm not I'm messing with that.
I'm sure.
I'm actually surprised this video didn't get flagged for the first time for that. Shh, don't tell them. Maybe because it's unlisted. I don't know.
So we had 2 bottles of Smirnoff in there just for you and I. And then I think my brother-in-law might have drank part of it.
I don't know if I drank yet at this point.
You were legal? Well, were you legal? No, maybe not.
I was 17. This was the summer I graduated from high school.
But I think the drinking age is 17 in Brazil. So I think you were okay really? In Brazil.
I don't think I drank though.
Ask if Beatrice, if you're still on, or my wife, if somebody's on. What's the drinking age in Brazil?
So I didn't really start drinking till I was 20, and then it was a very long year.
But I know they have a younger drinking age than we do. It's like Europe, where it's all
probably makes younger. More sense.
So my wife just texted me. It's 18.
Yeah, we got a response here too.
Yeah, 18.
Man, we really got a party in this room. Hey, did you get that package?
So that's Duda, and I did. That's okay, Duda, cool. And that's Beatrice's sister. And you can see they were so small, I was able to keep one in each arm when I was dancing with them. That was, put this way, they are not that small anymore. That's not
you were definitely drinking.
Oh, I was. Yes, I was.
Yeah, I think this was before, I think I was straight edge still.
I think you had a couple drinks there. I'm pretty sure you did.
I'm not going to say definitely not, but.
And in Brazil, nobody cares.
Man, I was definitely a terrible dancer. Maybe the music was terrible. Well, do you remember what the DJ was playing?
I don't remember.
Was it American music?
I think it was a mix. Probably mostly, because on the radio, most of the stuff they play is American music too. So, like I'm sure Taylor Swift is huge in Brazil.
Right. Well, anyways.
Yeah, we'll stop that.
That's the wrong button. I'm trying to skip through it, see if there's an ending. Or maybe just the actual ceremony kind of thing.
Well, that was the party after the ceremony, so I doubt it. Oh, is this Big Dumb Rock?
Big Dumb Jesus.
Big Dumb Jesus, yeah. So this is you disrespecting one of the greatest pieces of landmark in Brazil.
Hey, I went.
or as most people call it, Corcovado.
I'm sorry, but I'm from New York. Not much impressive.
But I believe that was made by and donated by the same. It's from France, which I think is the same people who did the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, I'm
pretty
seen that
sure
before. So this was like that, but like much further away.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful country. And a couple years ago, we went back, and I wanted to take the family to dinner, and we went to the same restaurant we did for the dinner before the wedding. So the dinner where you were playing with Duda, we went back to that exact restaurant to have dinner, which was kind of cool.
Was it like that buffet kind of situation?
No, that was the wedding itself. So
where they bring everything
itself,
in courses.
Well, no, the wedding itself, I think you went and you got it yourself. I think they had because they don't usually do that. But you got to remember.
What is she in the other room?
She's downstairs. But you have to remember, we're from New York, so we're used to a wedding where you have like a sit-down dinner and all this stuff. A lot of the country, even the United States, doesn't do that. So Brazil doesn't do that. But when I was kind of talking to my wife about here's what I want for the wedding, they were like, "You want to do what? You want dinner with the wedding?" I'm like, "Yeah." So we brought in a chef to do the Brazilian barbecue. So you could have gotten some Brazilian barbecue meats, which is like the greatest food in the world. Which we're actually going to go celebrate my birthday to a Brazilian barbecue tomorrow. So yeah, so we had that but the night before was an Italian restaurant for the actual pre-wedding dinner.
Beatrice which is kind of to go.
Yeah, it's late there, and they probably have to work.
Stinks.
So do I.
You have to work tomorrow? That stinks.
I do.
Uh-oh. Should we keep him up past his bedtime?
Yeah, we can do it.
No, it's fine. So, should I start your slideshow or what?
Yeah, let's start. I just got to text Greg quick because he's asking a question about getting into the show, and I want him to be able to jump in if he can, because he'll add a lot more.
Yeah, for sure.
I
don't know if I have those videos ready to go. Maybe they're in the archive playlist.
Oh, we don't have to start there. It's okay.
No, I mean, I have like old videos of him playing in the basement and stuff.
Let's save those for
another time.
Like when we do like an album release or something. Yeah, we got enough for tonight. I don't think we need that for tonight.
Yeah, just putting it out there.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Thank you.
It's past your bedtime already.
Good night. Thank you for checking in. I appreciate it. That was my first guitar, I guess.
Mine made out of cardboard. I guess.
You in a golf club. So your first bass was a plastic golf club. That was the dream.
Will Brittany participate in the live? I don't know. Does she spin?
I don't think so. She just stands there.
I'm sorry, but I'm loving Brittany's Instagram and everything. She's, I don't know what to say. She's unhinged and I love it. Let her be nuts. Like, that's what I want to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, let her be her.
And I can't wait. I hope there's a new album. I'll say this in quotes because you know what I mean, but like went crazy the first time when, the head shaving and the car thing. And I was like so excited that she was going to just like do a punk record and like fuck the world and then come back to her pop afterwards, after she had this like crazy artistic like.
Well, I don't know. Are you following the news on Mariah Carey?
I just know that she was sued because she wanted to be the Queen of Christmas and someone already has that.
Well, no, not
or is there
that,
more to that? More?
Back in her heyday, when she was like queen of the Billboard charts, she made a rock record.
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
But her husband at the time, who was the head of the record label, said no, it's going to ruin your label, it's going to ruin your image. So they released the album, and she's technically on it, singing some backgrounds, but with a different singer, and obviously it failed. It didn't do well. Right. Well, she found the original masters. she re-recorded her vocals and she's going to release it. So you're going to get a full-on Mariah Carey rock album, which is going to be cool.
I'll take it. I mean, how rock are we talking?
like indie rock, probably like placebo
it's probably
rock.
still going to be pretty light.
I mean, I think I heard it with the original singer. It's 90s alt rock.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll be like with Mariah Carey.
Lights.
Yeah, probably.
But Candlebox.
Maybe something like that. But still, it's her singing. I'm sure interested. I'll take a rock album from a pop diva.
I think several singers have done stuff like that and kind of buried it.
And I'm still waiting for Miley to go full on. Like she dabbled with it in her last album, which was interesting.
Well, she does more with her live band, like when she covers Nine Inch Nails.
Right.
She covers Hole, and
but I'm waiting for her to go all in on an album.
Sure. Yeah, I'll take it. I wasn't she gonna do like a Metallica tribute record or something?
She did. She was on it. I think he was on it.
I thought she was gonna do. I know she did.
With Elton John, she did
with Elton John and Yo-Yo Ma. I think it was Nothing Else Matters.
Yeah, I've heard it.
I know, but I thought she was going to do a whole album of Metallica songs.
Oh, I don't know.
On her own.
I'm not sure.
Maybe
the last I saw, so Lou, for anybody who knows Evil Kitty Lou, sent me a video maybe 2 days ago. Maybe it was yesterday. I don't remember. I don't know if you saw Miley Cyrus just did the iHeartRadio show festival, and she came out and sang with Billy Idol, and they did a duet.
I mean, they've been doing that for years.
Yeah, but they did the duet of Rebel Yell, and it was awesome. And I know Lou was pointing out, oh my God,
I think
Billy Idol looks
before.
Amazing. But Billy Idol for his age looks incredible.
Yeah,
he's got like 6-pack abs. I mean, the guy's 66 or 67 years old, and you look at him and you go, "Oh my God!" Then you have Miley next to him, and you're like, "Wow, that is something to see."
What was I gonna say about Billy Idol? Jeez, I forget. Yeah, that's kind of where it stemmed from. She did a full-on cover. She started incorporating that into the set. The actual had like a whole.
Yep.
And that was really cool.
Yeah, among other. Yeah, she was doing Metallica. She was doing. I remember she was doing Fleetwood Mac. Well, she does that mashup song with the Stevie Nicks song that she mashes up on her new album, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, she has some full-on rock stuff.
I think the last Billy Idol record was produced by Trevor Horn.
Okay.
And I don't remember it being very memorable, but I thought that was a significant fact.
Yeah, in that video,
like he's still alive too. Thank God.
Well, the other cool thing for me, who's obviously a guitar player and a gear nerd, his guitar player, who's been with him forever, Steve Stevens, was there, not looking as good as Billy, no. but he was playing an EVH Wolfgang, which I thought was amazing, and it sounded ridiculous. And then he takes a toy ray gun and was putting it up against the pickups to make some weird sounds. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, Buckethead used to do stuff like that.
Probably still does.
Probably still sometimes, yeah. What do you want to talk about? Where should we go first? Should we start? Should we play a video?
I don't know. Let me just ask a question. Do you know, or Pat or Ed have any chance of joining? Or are they all like?
Didn't hear back from them about it.
Okay. Can I have that one song I wanted to ask them about? But
yeah, I mean, I sent it to Pat, and he just said, "Oh, this is that song."
Okay. Yeah, because Lou and I were wondering who else was there. Was it just you and Pat? Was it you, Pat, and Ed?
There's probably pictures, but I'm just thinking. Oops, my microphone. That was probably not a recording studio. That was probably just us in a rehearsal studio with setting up a microphone.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah,
that wasn't
probably.
Actually when we, because he made it sound like it was in a recording.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too when he was talking about it. But I imagine it was just one of the rehearsal rooms.
And there is a gang vocal track on that.
Yeah, we probably brought the 8-track in with us.
Mm.
And I bet you there's some photos from that somewhere. But
yeah, I'd be interested to remember, because Lou and I were trying to remember, like, did we bring you guys to the studio? If we did, that's cool.
I think I would remember that more if we were in an actual studio. I mean, maybe we.
Well, maybe you wouldn't, because I dragged you to those things all the time.
Yeah, I know, but I usually remember it. I don't remember Pat being there. I remember like the K through 12. I remember the Evil Kitty session that I played on.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much just those. I don't know if
So
I was at anything else.
So if you want to play something, let's go old school. One video I put together just for fun for an EP that I recorded that I don't know if it'll ever get released. That's really, if people really wanted to hear the whole thing, Lou would probably need to get in touch with the old singer to get her kind of sign off on it before we did it. I wouldn't want to surprise her kids and suddenly have her singing some of the stuff she was singing without her knowledge. But the band was K through 12, and for anybody who watched or wants to know, we did an extensive Evil Kitty show a few months ago, and what K through 12 was kind of the missing evolutionary link between the old Evil Kitty and what Evil Kitty became, because Evil Kitty started off as like a heavier metal kind of band. Then we did K through 12, and then that kind of led us into what Evil Kitty
more
became.
like radio rock, I guess you would say.
Yeah, well, the 90s stuff. And then Evil Kitty kind of came back. It was more your radio rock kind of hard stuff. But K through 12 was kind of that missing piece, because it's lighter than Evil Kitty, but it's still kind of going in that. You can kind of hear the direction that was kind of going there. But it was definitely on the lighter, more pop side than what we were doing.
But the songs
previously.
were great. Yeah, I think these were better than a lot of the Evil Kitty songs.
So I had some fun. I went back and I kind of retooled it, made it sound as good as it could sound based on the recording.
And this was recorded on tape, by the way.
Which I actually have over there.
Yeah, you would actually transfer those into tracks like years ago.
Right.
So this is what came out of that.
I salvaged some of. Well, I redid some of the guitars to make it sound better. Obviously, remixed, remastered, did the whole thing. Tried to make the drums sound a little more. I mean, I mastered it,
right?
Not like professionally, but I did it. So this, and then I found an old rehearsal clip of us playing it, which is almost the exact tempo that we actually recorded. So Randy was obviously a machine. When Randy had it, he was like a human metronome. That's just like he knew the tempo. And then I kind of just put in some photos from the recording session and kind of made it
from the thumbnail that I am in some of these photos.
You're in one of the photos, and I'm sure the whole video clip was you filming. I'm sure.
Probably, yeah.
So this is one of your filming jobs. But again, this is also old tape recording, so it's not going to be high-end digital looking.
No,
so
and I was not quite the artist I am now on the camera.
Yeah. So if we want to do that, let's start
off. Back then I was an archivist more than an artist.
So this was a song we did. It was called Pious World. It's pop, it's fun, it's rock. I think it's a good song. I think it's a fun song. So if you want to play that's we can start there.
And it starts with me.
She was a friend of mine, but it's been some time since we parted life. She was my better half, a new best friend. So manipulative every weekend. She's got no alternative, proclaims what she discovers, gives up her knees and her cross because Jesus found her. She lives in her pious world. She walks up and down chapel. She speaks up and down the Bible, all from memory. And her one-night stands were all from circumstance. With her cross and pearl, she is God's good girl. Pious world, pious world, pious world, pious world. We'd argue for hours about the joys and powers of her father's faith and of being saved. She said, I'm upset you won't be with me when I'm done and set for eternity.
There's the Hoosier.
I said, don't you worry, I'm in no hurry to be so damn happy. She lives in her pious world. She walks up and down chapel. She speaks up and down Bible, all from memory. And her one-night stands were all from circumstance. With her cross and pearl, she is God's good girl. Pious world, pious world, pious world, pious world. Now she lives all alone in her childhood home. Every Saturday
are you doing? You trying to headbutt me?
I think I tried to punch.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, a little old school. And it has Pat's favorite guitar of mine, the Parker.
That's my favorite too.
It's a fun guitar. And I think I was running through that amp he was talking about too, the Roland, which is kind of cool.
Well, the sound wasn't from the tape recording. If
No.
that wasn't clear, that
Yeah.
it was probably a mini DV. No, probably before DV.
It was one of those little tapes, cameras, little camcorders.
It's probably the one that was a little bigger, maybe digital 8, I think. Probably.
Yeah, something like
era.
that, which was fun. So yeah, it was old school. So we'll catch up tomorrow. Yeah, thank you, Brazil. Thank you.
Good night, Brazil. Now, where's Los Angeles?
Just kicking in now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We'll just hit all the different time zones and have them kind of come in during their.
It's like 6:30 there. Pat's probably busy.
Yeah.
Doing LA Thanksgiving. We may have other cameos. We'll see.
Yeah, Greg said he's going to try to get away.
Yeah, I'll win.
He's trying now. He said they're talking his ear off at the dinner table because he's in Colorado, so it's only
Right. What time is it there?
2 hours earlier. So it's closer to LA time than our time.
Rock on.
Yeah. Thank you, Chia.
Do you want to do your package?
Sure.
I told him might as well wait for my flimsy ass package.
Let's see.
Figure it's not a party without some gifts. Oh my god, don't cut your fucking can open on the show. It's not that kind of show.
Might make for good ratings. I mean, I'm not going to be able to have shock value stories like Amani, or I'm not going to be able to bring the legendary stories like your Guar guys.
I'm waiting for that Guar blood to just like squirting all over. Next week on the Guar Pod, Colette Miller, the original Guar woman. For anyone interested.
Okay. Got a card.
There's a card, yes.
Which turns into a poster, evidently.
Yeah, I picked the most obnoxious card I could find.
Just so everyone can see, it opens up into this massive.
Don't die.
I'll do my best.
Wait, did you read it?
I did. It's pretty funny.
The thing I wrote.
Oh. Should I read it out loud, or is it personal?
I mean, no, it's fine.
Sorry, the only wrapping paper I had was for Christmas. Hopefully you're on air with me right now. Hope you enjoy these. Your bro, Kevin. Any particular one you want me to go first?
Hello.
Wait. Go upstairs and then turn your volume up.
That's a familiar voice. I think we just saw a video of her.
Spoiler alert. No, there's no real order.
No real order? All right. Let's go for this one first then.
Hello.
Hello.
She was about to echo in
Mom!
my room.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. You just missed it. We just played the wedding video.
Well, she's seen it before.
Your wedding video?
Yeah.
Really?
We had a whole bunch of Brazil
My
family on the phone.
the one I did.
Okay.
Thank you. My first Buckethead shirt.
Oh, really?
Well, he didn't really have merch when I saw him back in the day. He was a
Yeah.
little before that time. So all I have is my hat to get signed. So there was no shirts or.
And we'll talk. We'll circle back around to some Bill Laswell stuff later, because that relates to my upcoming show next week, Martin BC.
And this repeat. I guess this is for your other show, huh? The new
I thought that you should have it because it's
new
so
Gore
great.
album. So now I have this one to go with Scumdogs to argue which one is the best album.
Sure.
How that works. So hey,
I
Mom,
mean,
welcome. Thank you
yeah.
for showing up.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Yes, this was a surprise even to me, and that's why I had to disappear during the video because I was getting knocks on my door, and I'm like, I'm on a live show.
Well, that's why I knocked. I didn't budget. I didn't know what point you were
Yeah.
at there.
So for
me to
anybody else
figure out how to
watching, this is our mom.
Yeah.
She's responsible for all of this.
I am, and I'm not musical at all, so I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah,
What's going on
but she
there?
does have the greatest musical story of all time because unlike any of us, she did see the Beatles at Shea Stadium.
I did. That was awesome, and something I'll never forget.
Except you couldn't hear them, right?
I couldn't hear them, but I was there, right?
You were there.
And then a few years ago, I got to see Paul McCartney in concert.
Yeah, so I brought her to Paul McCartney so she could actually hear him this time.
I did.
I'm sure he played 8 times longer than the Beatles did.
Probably.
Oh, yeah. And I could hear him. So
I think the Beatles played like 20, 25 minutes at that show.
Probably.
And Paul played like 3 hours.
Yeah, he was awesome without a break.
He has more energy than all of us combined.
Probably.
Isn't it his birthday or something?
Do I share a birthday with Paul McCartney? That makes sense.
Or-
We're both
I
legends.
think so. I do not think so.
I thought I saw his name popped up or something. No, I don't know what that was. Something else.
No.
His name's always popping up. Did anyone listen to the new Revolver yet? I haven't. I'm a terrible Beatles fan. This is the one I've been waiting for all these years, and it's finally out.
What's new about it?
It's a remix,
And
remaster.
remastered the entire thing.
Okay.
It's very technical.
So this will be like, remember the Beatles Love album where Kevin and I put it in and we could hear all the details and went, oh my God, did you just put the solo for this and this? Oh my God, mind blown. It'll be something like that where we'll pick it up and go, oh my God. And you'll be like, I don't even know it's even different.
You're right.
Well, like if you listen to a stereo Beatles album up until now, it's very like all the vocals are on the left side and all the drums are on the right side. You know, it's not very balanced. Like actually mono mixes were a lot more popular back then. And now that they've tracked out every single tape that they have, they can remix it with the same notes, but like with modern technology. It's just incredible.
Well, you don't know.
So-
You heard it, I thought.
Well, they've done it for the last few years for Sgt. Pepper, the White Album, the one with the documentary, whatever they want to call that now.
Okay.
So it's
That Abbey
they've
Road?
been doing it for years. It's just this album this Christmas is Beatles release.
Okay.
Every year
Well,
they put something out.
I was going to
Around
say, they
Christmas,
keep
yeah.
doing something new, so people keep buying stuff from them.
Exactly.
Well, so Paul keeps having some money to spend. Yeah, he needs his.
Because remember
his
last
petty
year
cash.
around this time we were watching the documentary and that album was re-released.
Yeah, the documentary was great. Very good. Learned
It
a
was
lot.
very long.
So since Mom's on, do you want to play the clip of her and Dad giving me my first guitar?
Oh.
Really?
Since what started the whole thing? You want to see where this whole origin story really begins from?
Is this 89 or do you remember which year it is?
I don't remember. I sent you the link.
I know,
Yeah.
but I
That
haven't.
was when we lived in Dryden. No?
Yeah.
I
It's either
think,
Dryden or
Of course.
Canandaigua. It was one of the two.
I'm thinking Dryden.
I'm thinking it was too, because I think I took lessons from Mrs. Duncan. I took like 2 or 3 lessons until I realized she wasn't really a guitar person. Because she took my guitar on the first lesson, she did the whammy bar and broke the string and couldn't. And that was the first lesson. I was like, so your first lesson is you broke my string.
Well, you took keyboard lessons from her.
I did. And I think I took like 2 guitar lessons from her and I was kind of done. I was like, I'll figure this one out on my own.
Well, is it that different? I mean, I know it's different, but
Playing a guitar, I mean, she could probably play like an acoustic guitar, probably, is my guess. I mean, the music theory is the same,
well, yeah.
but but the note order and stuff is completely different than like a piano or a keyboard.
Was it Christmas or your birthday?
It's Christmas.
Christmas.
If you're looking at it, you're little and you're wearing a Hulk Hogan pajamas.
Wow. How do you remember that?
Because he just
I just watched it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was
I
thinking
mean,
you
I'll
were
have to
impressing with your
find it.
memory. Can't
Let's
find
see,
it?
you message it. No, I mean, I know where
Let's see if
you
I
guys
have it
keep
on.
talking.
I know I
I'll
sent it
find
to you.
I know.
It was all my fault because then we gave you drums and everything else. So
Well, you gave me keyboards first. That was the first thing. Then I think the drums were second, and then the guitar was last, if I remember. Because it
91.
was 91. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
To 1991. So I don't remember how many years. I don't do the math. It's a lot.
I think I almost played a clip from this last show because that's when I got my first Faith No More tape too.
Is it?
I think so. Either 91 or 92.
So I gave you your first guitar. Now, Keith, tell everybody how many guitars you have now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 9 electrics, 1 acoustic, and a bass. Do I still have this one? Is that your question?
Yeah.
You mean this one?
Oh, he was ready to go with that.
He was.
Now it's modified since I got it. I did swap out the pickups and the tuning mechanisms to put locking tuners on it. But I've been playing it the last couple of days. It sounds great. It still plays and sounds great.
Oh.
Wait, where's the sound? I can play sound on this one, I think.
I don't know. Do we have
Yeah,
sound?
there's no.
I turned it off because of copyright
there
music.
it is.
Before.
There's Dad.
Hulk Hogan, who is a member of Green Jelly, by the way.
He got his wish.
So wait, how old are you in 1991?
Wow, he must have been a good boy last year.
90, 16?
Wow.
So let's hear it. How does it sound? You got it plugged in?
I do have it plugged in.
Of course you do.
Of course I do. See if you can play. Let's see. Let's see if I can do something that you'll know.
You talking to me or Mom?
You. Well, both. How about both?
Hey.
But you're still music, Kevin, right?
What?
Oh no.
It's my song.
It is your song. That's what I thought.
Although we haven't officially released it in the 20-something years it's existed, but eventually.
So yeah, it still plays. Sounds great.
Very nice.
I don't know if you could hear that.
Yeah, you can hear it. I remember liking that guitar very much aesthetically, at least the black.
Yeah, it's weird because it's a cheaper guitar for sure. Like the neck isn't wood. Like when you feel like the fretboard, it's like a plasticky kind of fretboard, which is very strange. And before I updated it, didn't really stay in tune. But when I put the Spurzels in, now it stays in tune. And then I swapped out the pickups to Seymour Duncan's. I mean, it sounds like a Jackson now. Like it plays and sounds like a Jackson now.
Mom totally understood everything you said, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. This was his first guitar.
Oh, and your first guitar.
Yep.
I didn't know you had that picture. I was thinking of that picture. I was going to ask you had it. I had no idea you had it.
I think it's in the frame upstairs, isn't it?
It might be.
But
Yeah.
this is a scan of it. Yeah.
See? You started young.
That's the Parker, not my last. Parker's still in my top 3.
Is that your house in Texas?
Yeah. Which you'll see more of in one of the videos we're gonna play.
Yeah, where's your dude?
He's still working on it. We can, but we have the other video too. So we have.
You want to play another
time.
video?
Actually, first, since we're talking guitars, we're nerding out on guitar stuff. I figured we'd do another callback to your Guar pod. You had Stephen Douglas on.
Yes, right.
And so Stephen Douglas is the original guitar player of Guar. And on that cast, because I'm a guitar nerd, I asked him, well, what guitars are you currently playing? And the answer was amazing and shocking. And he said, I'm playing a Reeves Gabrels Reverend. Now, most people don't even know who Reeves Gabrels is. But for me, that was like a, oh my God moment, because Reeves Gabrels is one of my favorite guitar players. He's currently playing with The Cure. He played with David Bowie. But I think from the picture I saw, what he's playing is his newer model, which is it's called the Dirt Bike. It doesn't look like that. It's more like a Gibson SG. But the picture you're showing there is the guitar I have. And I don't just mean the model, but I'm pretty sure that picture is this actual guitar, because he played it at a festival show, and then he signed it and then gave it away, or I guess back to Reverend to sell or do something with autograph. And Mom ended up getting this for me. I think it was her Christmas present a few years back. Wow. It's the same picture here. It's actually autographed by Reeves Gabrels, and this is the Reeves Gabrels Signature 2 model.
Is that your favorite now?
It's probably my number 2 now. It's between this and the Wolfgang are the 2 guitars I probably use the most now, and the Parker's probably number 3 currently. But this is a great guitar. Anyone who doesn't know Reeves Gabrels.
Is it this one?
I can't even see that, to be honest.
I pulled up Steve Douglas' profile.
And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he is using the same model I am. It's possible. But from what I thought I saw when he opened the guitar case up. That's not what I thought I saw. Thought I saw the Dirt Bike.
I'm not sure.
Which is a cool. Anyway, anyone watching is like, guitar nerds falling asleep, boring. But I just thought I would do a callback.
Looks like a Jazzmaster cross with a Telecaster.
It does have a Telecaster body, and it's heavy. It's very heavy. It's almost like
just like the opposite of the Parker. The cool thing about the Parker was that it was like light as a feather.
It's like 3 pounds. I have the Parker back here.
I like that about it, and that's why I like my Steinberger, even though it's hard to get strings and repaired. It's so light on stage.
But the only thing about the Parker and again, I love the Parker too. It's the guitar I played the longest. It's I still love that guitar, but because it's hollow, and the reason it's so light is it's hollow because it has an acoustic microphone in the middle of it, like an acoustic guitar. And because it's hollow, it's very thin sounding. So when you listen to it, it doesn't have the kind of, close your ears, Mom. It doesn't have the balls of like a Gibson or like a heavier stock guitar that kind of gives you that heavy kind of undertone. The Parker doesn't have it. It's a very light kind of thin sound.
It's so easy to play.
Oh, it's very easy to play, and you can shred like crazy on it. And then that's what Reeves Gabrels was playing for most of his time with Bowie, and that's why I fell in love with that guitar. But yeah, it's a great guitar. So if you want to jump to another video, we can go to segue. We'll start segueing. You can get it lined up. Get the Comedy of Errors lined up, but don't play it yet. Mm-hmm. So.
Should I show this?
Yeah, I was going to go there.
Which actually, I have an original copy of.
And probably in better condition than mine, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like it's in pretty good condition. And I actually transferred this. I was trying to get it ready for the show, but there's like some stuff on side B that may be exclusive to this. It's definitely not listed. It's definitely nothing that I have heard before.
Really?
Yeah, so there's some like Lost Total Stranger stuff on my copy.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I could try to play it, but I didn't really get it prepared.
But this for anybody knowing, this was I guess you call it band. I call it a solo thing, but I don't know. It's become a band now. It's definitely become a band now. But it was the first thing I did, and this is when I was learning to play. So this is with my first guitar, right? Through the small amp, which was also given to me on that Christmas. If you rewind a little bit, it started with the amp.
Well,
I think
mother and father, didn't you? They
but I think you guys screwed up because I think you meant to do the amp later, and because the amp was first, it kind of guaranteed to know I was getting the guitar now because you wouldn't get me the amp without the guitar, because it doesn't make any sense.
Well, you probably knew you were getting the guitar before anyway.
Probably
down your presents anyway.
So this was the band that I was learning to play in. So if you listen to this cassette, it sounds awful. The playing is, you're going to have a lot of bad notes. You're going to have a lot we were young, we were learning, we were excited, but the quality sucked.
Well, how did this song come about, the Comedy of
Errors? We'll get there. Let's start with the band, and then we'll get to that. So this was a couple of, this is junior high school. So this is pre-high school. This was really, really three people. This was me, my friend Matt McMillan, and Justin Patterson. But probably more me and Matt, to be honest. It was really the two of us, and Justin kind of floated in and out once in a while.
Greg floated in once in a while, too.
Greg came in once, which we'll get to in a minute. But we'll leave Greg out for the moment. It was really me and Matt. And Matt would go home and write these keyboard things, and he'd come over and we'd jam. And the way we recorded, because we didn't have an 8-track, we didn't have a home studio, so we would use like a video recorder. Like, remember, it was the big one. It played like the full VCR tape. VHS tape, yeah. So we would use that to record a video, but not for the video, just for the audio. And then what we would do is we would play it back on like a stereo, and then play over it, and that was how we overdubbed. so the quality was terrible, but this is us starting to write. This sounds familiar. I don't remember this though. And it's funny because we would swap instruments.
I'll lower it so you can talk over it. Yeah, this is the lost recordings.
So we would swap instruments. So some songs I'd play drums, some songs I'd play guitar, some songs I'd play keyboard, and we just kind of rotate, and we were all just kind of learning and playing. And even though the quality is crap, some of the songs were great, and it was a great creative environment where you had no limitations. We could do anything we wanted. We could, and the first song I ever wrote was what's going to be in this video. And it was because we had a school project, and it was an English class.
What's this one? This one's fun.
That sounds like a Matt McMillan thing.
That kid could write a great pop record.
He could. He actually did put out some records.
Really?
He did. Yeah. I could probably find him and send
he
it
was
to
an author, but I didn't know he played.
Yeah, he's a published author too.
Yeah.
So we had.
I might have one of his books here somewhere.
Yeah, The Dreaming, I think it's called, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever read it or not, but I think I have it here.
Yeah, I read it. I have a signed copy. I have a signed copy from him. So we had an English class, and instead of doing book reports, they would want us to do something creative as in lieu of a book report. So I remember me and Justin were in the class together, and I remember we had one of the books or whatever we had to read.
So tedious?
Could be.
These are very basic. But yeah, this is side B of that tape for me.
I'll have to check that out. I don't know.
Yeah, it's some good stuff. You should revive it. I mean, like, obviously they're very roughly presented here, but you could extrapolate some great, ideas from this.
Yeah, but most of those are probably more Matt, and I probably wouldn't want to necessarily do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun to listen to.
Wait, what's this one? Sounds like video game music.
That's definitely me on drums and him playing keyboard.
It's cool though. I like it. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, so we had this class where we had to do basic. It was projects instead of book reports. And I remember we did Faust. And I remember for Faust, we did like a mini comic book. So I kind of plotted.
You still have
out.
that?
No, I think Justin has it.
Oh,
I basically plotted it out, and then Justin did all the work. Like he drew it because he was like a
He's a good
comic
artist.
book artist, like
Mhm.
really good. Like
that
Marvel
could
DC
relate to
level.
my Phantom show.
Yeah. So he did all the work on that one, which was cool. Tape recorder.
See,
Yeah.
yeah, you had to get creative when you had lack of technology.
Yeah. So he did that one. So then we had another one where basically it was like, well, hey, I did all the work on this one, so the next one's pretty much on you. And we had to read the Shakespeare play Comedy of Errors. And I was like, oh, well, why don't I write a song? It's kind of like a Cliff Notes version of the play, but as lyrics to a song. So I wrote this cheesy kind of keyboard in the lyrics, the lyrics are basically a very generic plot to the play is what the lyrics are. It's cheesy. Yeah, and we recorded it back then. And if you look at this cassette, it has Pirate Man, it has Running Away, it has Comedy of Errors, it has something called First Love, which I think is I Fell in Love. I think now it has Now That You're Gone, and I plan on having all of those songs on the album we're working on now for Total Strangers. And now you'll get the full power of those songs with modern recording.
You know, I gotta say, I found another artist with this cover.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me, because Lou, that's Lou. That was all Lou.
I mean, I think this is a stock image from something.
Maybe it is.
So someone else you also used the stock image for an album cover.
Someone big?
I don't know. I came on my Instagram story, so I took a screenshot.
That's interesting.
Of it. It was on Spotify. I mean, that doesn't mean it's big or anything, but
right. So it's cool because if you can see, I'm actually wearing a Total Stranger shirt.
I saw that. Yeah. What did you just get those made or?
I did. Well, I actually have a site where you can buy them. If you look at the back is actually the album cover.
Wow, you have merch already?
I have merch for Evil Kitty and for Total Stranger available. It's on. I think it's Square. Something the Evil Kitty music.
Yeah,
something
you'll figure it out. I'll post the links in the description later.
But we got shirts and really I didn't do it to get rich. I did it because I wanted some shirts.
You're not getting rich off of music?
No. No, I'm not.
Disappointing.
So now fast forward to modern day. Evil Kitty's been done for a while. We reached out to Sue to see if she wanted to kind of revive it, but just life. And she was like, thanks, but no thanks. But hey, good luck. And, we're still close, but she didn't want to go that route. So Lou and I started thinking, well, what can we do? And Lou had this brilliant idea. Hey, what about the old stuff you have laying around, like the Total Stranger stuff? Why don't we revive it and do something with it? I'm like, all right. So then we went through singers. We came really close to a big name singer, but it didn't. We had a meeting, but it didn't materialize.
Ish.
But we had a meeting.
Big to us.
And yeah, to us. And she loved the music, but she just wasn't gonna. Just time and stuff wasn't gonna work out. So we went international and said, you know what? We're never gonna play this live anyway. So why limit ourselves to this date? So we went out and we found a singer in England named Bex, and she was all in and she was game, and I was thrilled. I think we told the story before where I found her and one of her covers was a Bowie song, which I thought was awesome because she's a big Bowie fan. I'm like, I'm a Bowie fan. I love Bowie. And what I really loved was she said, well, what should I work on first? And I said, well, let's do Comedy of Errors. Let's do my first song. Let's just do it. And so she started working on it. And she sent me a message. She said, just stupid question. It doesn't really matter. But is this Shakespeare? I never told her. So the fact that, someone from the home country of Shakespeare actually got that the lyrics are a Shakespeare play made my day.
Well, I'm like, that is
awesome. Right? But I thought that was awesome. That made me so happy that she got it.
I think he's pretty big over there.
He's pretty big everywhere, I'm pretty sure. I think Broadway usually has at least one of his plays running at all times, don't they?
Probably.
pretty much. Or Central Park used to do Shakespeare in the Park every summer.
Yeah,
I think they
do.
still do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so he's kind of a big deal.
So shall we?
Yeah, so this is the first, and this is kind of put together quick. It's not as perfect as I'd like it to be, but it's a fun kind of intro to the band. And this is the first song I ever wrote. This is our new singer, who's amazing. And yeah, this is Comedy of Errors by Total Stranger.
There's so many of you.
Two men were sailing on a nearby shore. One wanted money, but ended up with more. A mist of confusion in the air. He fell in love, but wasn't that affair? It all happened in a comedy of errors. Blind by confusion,
Gotta teach Lou what backlighting is.
it all happened in a comedy of errors. Was it his sister or was it his wife? To find the answer may cost him his life. Twin brothers lost at sea. What'll happen? Wait and see. It'll happen in a comedy of errors. Blind by confusion, corruption, and pain. It'll happen on a comedy of errors. In the conclusion, amends were made. Objects returned and all debts are paid. Brothers united at long last. Bygones be gone, that was in the past. It all happened in a comedy of errors. Blind by confusion, corruption, and pain. It'll happen on a comedy of errors. It'll happen in a comedy of errors. Blind by confusion, corruption, and pain. It'll happen on a comedy of errors.
Wait, is there a sequel?
Not yet.
Where'd you get the picture for the cover?
Yeah, Keith, where'd you get the picture for the cover?
Lou, when you watch this, put that in the comments. Lou did
Yeah.
all that. That was all Lou.
maybe.
I'm not a graphic designer, but I know I think he hired someone to do it.
Really?
I think he went on like a Fiverr or something like that and hired someone to do it. I thought.
That's interesting.
Okay, who was the other guitar player in the video? In the garage that looks like he was playing.
That was Lou.
Lou.
That's Lou?
That's Lou.
You can't see him because of backlighting, which is when you
Very-
record yourself in
very
front of a
good.
window and all the sun is going towards the camera, so you look like a shadow.
I didn't recognize Lou.
That's Lou. It's got Lou on bass, me on all other music, and then Bex on vocal.
How come your acoustic guitar has a tag on it? Did you return it afterwards?
I know. I was gonna
I
say that.
literally just took it off yesterday. My wife made the same comment. She was picking on me and making fun of me. I just kind of like to
Was
having
there
it
like
on
a
there.
purpose?
No, I just never took it off since I had it. And I've had that guitar for about probably 3 years now.
Jeez, about time. I think it's
It's my-
cheaper.
So that wasn't photographed in Texas?
I think it was all on a green screen.
That was on a green screen, yeah.
Okay.
little
Movie
secrets.
Sorry, yeah.
Little
Sorry
secret
about
sauce
that.
stuff.
So you shouldn't have me on the show.
I just thought it was cool because, Shakespeare, England.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Everyone's getting a Shakespearean costume for Christmas.
Yeah.
You can
so
redo that video, but like in Shakespearean way.
I thought the house was kind of a castle, so I thought it would kind of fit like the kind of mood in the image is kind of.
Yeah, I
what
was
it
wondering,
is.
maybe Lou can say that was an artistic choice.
It was Lou's artistic choice. And again, we're getting there. We're learning. It's
I
all
know,
DIY.
I'm just messing with you.
It's kind of fun. But
Well, I think we need to rock this show up. What do you think?
I think so too. Is Greg here?
I think we need to rock
Do we
it
got
up.
Greg? Do we got Burr? We got Greg. We got Greg.
Hello.
Look,
We got the
this
man, the
is
myth,
the
the
nephew's
legend.
room.
What is that?
What? This
that
is
a
my
drum set?
nephew's room.
Oh, his nephew's
Yeah.
room.
Sweet.
Yeah. I'm over at the
He's a
in-laws
drummer?
right now.
He's hired.
Yeah, I didn't even know this till tonight myself. I'm like, I'm going to join the podcast, and which room can I do? And I first went in the niece's room, and I'm like, well, that would explain why this had a more feminine vibe to it. And they go, no, go in the nephew's room. He's got a drum kit, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is much better.
There you go.
And
Yeah,
there,
definitely
at one
higher.
point there was a teddy bear with diapers on. So
So this is a great segue. So I'll set this up, then Greg can kind of.
I haven't
do
seen
most
you
of
in
this.
like 30 years.
Me either, Greg. I don't know if you remember me from coming to my house and playing with Keith and your brother, I think,
It was his
Yeah.
right?
well,
In
Yep.
Dryden.
I do remember, but nobody will ever forget that singer. I'm just saying.
He's making fun of Matt.
Oh.
The gentleman that was climbing off the rafters and swinging on things, whoever he was. I can't remember him that well.
Well, it's funny because he has the same last name you do.
That's true.
I was looking at him like,
You know,
is
I went
Matt
to-
I never
McMillan
thought
on here?
about that.
I didn't know who Burr McMillan was. Okay.
That is
My
that's
middle
great.
name, actually. But yep, it's a
Are
long
we
story. I'll
revealing
go
your
by
secret-
either,
your
but it's my
secrets?
middle name. My grandfather's name was Burr, and one day in age, it was around college. I thought it for some reason. I'm like, this is the name I want to go further with in the music industry. Plus, it was my grandfather's name, and I thought it was unique. Not to get a long story, I met Robert England, Freddie Krueger. He said, I don't know how we
Phantom
got
of
on the
the
topic,
Opera.
but he goes, Burr is the oldest. Yeah, he goes, oldest name in the English language is Burr. And I
Wow.
said, I didn't know that. I haven't looked it up since I talked to him. But anyway, when Keith and I were talking some of the stuff we're doing together, I'm like, maybe I'll go back to Greg. I mean, because I have been doing my Burr solo stuff for so long. I'm like, maybe we've been slapping a lot of new paint on some thought process and everything. So
And of course, we already
So-
know Burr, Greg, since he's already notorious from your podcast from the Techno Destructo episode.
Oh my God. Did you watch
Which is
that?
hilarious. He saw it.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what's funny is I kind of laughed at it because I had a different reaction than some people. I knew some close friends of mine, not just Keith, just not Keith or you. It was a buddy of mine. His name's Don. He was a little surprised because he's a Hunter fan. He goes, really? And I was kind of just blew it off as nothing. I was like, he's been on a show for 4 hours talking. We're asking him to watch video. He was probably over it. So I would have probably walked on me too. So you know what I mean?
No, I texted him afterwards. He was fine.
It's funny though.
It is funny. I know. I didn't
Yeah,
get that
It makes for
seriously
great
either.
pod.
I don't think he knew he was still on screen either.
So it's a great segue. Do you have
like-
the other cassette picture I gave you?
Yes.
So this is cool. So talking about going back in time. So back this is around the same time I was doing Total Strangers. This had to be around 92, 93. Talking about old. Greg and I played in a band together called Anguish, where I was a really mediocre drummer. In like a metal band. We played mostly covers, but a couple of original songs that Greg and his brother were writing, probably mostly Greg. And
With another Matt.
And so at the time, I basically made a tape for myself of the two bands I was in, which is funny because swap out Anguish with Dedic8, which is really still Greg and I. And what am I doing today? I'm doing Total Stranger and Dedic8. So it's like the whole past coming right around. Full circle in life.
If you got good material, man, you keep that stuff until it hits.
Right. And at the time, I remember, like I said, during Total Stranger, originally, I was learning to play. So even though I was writing stuff I thought was good songs, I couldn't play for crap. And so we were trying to get a couple of decent songs. And I think one of the songs was Pirate Man. I'm pretty sure it was Pirate Man. And I was like, I begged Greg because Greg was the best guitar player around that I knew at the time.
Well, I think that one's on this tape.
It is.
Yeah.
I think it's the version with Greg and his
Wait,
brother.
there's actually credits in here. I could actually find out. Handwritten credits.
Yeah, mine doesn't. You have a better copy than I do.
Yeah. Pirate Man has Greg and Gary. Let's see if you're on any of these other songs.
I don't look like to hear that myself.
And
we probably thought we
Echoes.
were better than we really were.
Oh yeah, well,
Oh
it's
yeah,
not
for
great.
sure.
You
And Running Away too.
You'll cringe when you hear. You'll cringe.
Yeah, look at this.
Oh
yeah, it's terrible.
As good as you were back then, you're a way more polished player today than you were back then, for sure. Absolutely. So a couple years back, Greg and I kind of reconnected, and we kind of thought, well, it'd be fun to just do something together again. And the idea was probably for a song or two was probably the idea. And so I sent him a couple of the tracks I thought were on the heavier side that I wasn't going to be able to use for like Evil Kitty or for Total Stranger, and said, hey, do you want to do all this stuff? And I'm going to take a guess. Greg was probably interested because he didn't have to do all the legwork of the drums and all that stuff, and he could just focus on the stuff, the fun stuff for him. But then it kind of ballooned because Greg had this idea on how to take this and turn it into a concept. And then that concept turned into what's now going to be at minimum an album, maybe more. And I don't know, Greg, do you want to hit them with the concept? Because it's a pretty awesome concept.
I want to add a part where I was a terrible person and friend.
Me too.
I mean, there was material a long time ago. Yeah, well, it's a weird story. I was kind of really focused on my solo stuff. I brief history. I mean, I won't spend too much long on it, but I've played with so many musicians over time. I kind of got, maybe this is a terrible analogy. It's like marriage. You eventually just say, I'm done getting married, right, at some point. So I was kind of just wanted to do my solo thing, and that's what I was doing. I was doing vocals and stuff on my own. I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it myself. I still have a philosophy about other things in life. Like if I'm working on a project with people and if somebody's not pulling their weight, I'm just like, just give me the project. I'm going to do it. I'm over this. And he sent me these song examples, and we talked about doing a cover of House of the Rising Sun. And at the time, I don't think I liked kind of the direction of the song. And I was like, nah, I was telling him how to improve it. But I was also a little distracted on my own project. But what I'm getting at here is the 3 songs he sent me kind of sat there a long time, right? A long time. And I was like, if I did listen to them, but I was like, I don't know if that was the direction I wanted to go in at the time. And I was really focusing. There was a lot going on in my world too at the time. And as Keith knows, I have a bad tendency for relatives to pass around every holiday, it seems. And so where I was a bad friend is I didn't scoop up the opportunity to jump on these songs sooner than I should have, which apologies to Keith. And by the way,
A
happy
wise
birthday, old
man
man.
once told me,
And
nobody remembers a late job if they remember a good job. And that man is always late.
and I wish I could remember this part of the story. I don't know what made me repick them up. I don't know. I don't think Keith can correct me. I'm not sure who's initiated that conversation back.
I think
I don't know if I was just having a
I think it was last year when we hung out in Orlando. I think we were chilling, you, me, Don, the fam, doing the haunted houses. I think I brought it up again, and you were like, eh. And then it was like a couple weeks after that you were like, yeah, I want to do this.
Remember those songs I sent you 100 years ago?
Pretty much.
So when I listened to them again, and I had heard them the first time, it's ironic. What Keith's done is his writing is awesome in a sense that he almost, to the 3 samples he sent me, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, but I was like, this sounds too much like a certain artist. This sounds too much like an artist. And he started opening up about it, but I started listening to him, and it's where I'm going with this, that problem I had with it ended up being where this whole project turned into go. Because I'm like, that one riff sounds way too much like Van Halen. That sounds like this, and I'm like, people are going to call it out. People are going to say something on it. But then the one song, I said, who inspired you to, what is this? Because I couldn't hear it from a singing ear. I'm like, hum it, and Keith doesn't sing. And it was tough getting him to try to hum it. I'm like, tell me what you're hearing in my head. Just hum it. How do you picture it? And I didn't know that he is full guitar. He really doesn't get to that level. And I didn't know this about him. I'm like, when I write, I kind of think of humming, if it's not even words, how you're going to hum sing it. But he did. He sent me a little voice file, and he said, yeah, this is the band that inspired me to make it. And I started connecting that way with him. I tried to see that vision with it. I'm like, I can't see that. And I can't see that. We'd had these conversations, and I go, I don't get it. And but then one day, and we still kind of we'll get into this probably as we're talking more, and he can add on, but we go through this battle still with the songs that we're doing. And I'm like, I don't get this one now either. And then it finally clicks. And at first I'm like, it's funny. Keith's going to give me a hard time. But every time I first hear him, I'm like, no, this won't work. And then by the end of it, I'm like, this is genius. It worked. And that's where we're at now. We took the 3 songs, and I'm like,
yeah, but that's mostly not melody. It's usually concept, because you're like, well, what am I supposed to write? Like, what is this supposed to be? And I'll come up with something, and you'd be like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. And then 3 days later, you'll be like, I thought about it, and I can take your idea, and I found a way to make it work. Like one of the songs that might be one of the best songs we have. It's not the one we're going to show tonight. But I originally came up with an idea, and he's like, there's not enough. There's just not enough. We can't do this. And then he kind of said, but what if we take this and meld it with this? This is genius. And then he came up with the lyrics, and they're godly. They're amazing. And the way the melody fits with the song, it's awesome. And it fits so perfectly. It's like it was meant to be.
So what's the concept?
Yeah, so what's the concept?
So, because I started this, maybe this is a horrible thing to say, but I noticed these songs, like he said, one of the songs, he was inspired. I go, this one, he goes, it's weird. This doesn't sound like Van Halen. I did not rate Van Halen. I go, well, that riff is Van Halen. People are going to say it's Van Halen. And then another song I listened to, and I was like, this definitely has a thrash sound on it. And I actually, even though I know Keith, I did not know he's not that far into metal, because these songs are arguably passable as heavy metal. And finally he said, this one I kind of was inspired after Anthrax, listening to their worship music album, and I'm like trying to hear it in my head. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I still don't get it. And it finally that started clicking, but that's not where the idea of the band really came from. I'm like, okay, when I learned guitar, maybe it's because I am a writer and a singer. I became that over time. I was always a writer, a poet before I became a singer. In that flow, poet, writer, picked up a guitar, best friend, talking to learning it. Then I picked up singing because I got tired of trying out singers. I know that sounds weird. I just was over it. I'm like, I don't care if I can sing. So I'm just going to try. I was terrible when I started off.
Yeah, that's where I am now.
And so trying not to make a long story short here, but I'm not going to lie. I was out the family. We were on our way to see a movie. I don't know, a weird idea clicked to me. Keith and I started developing a weird chemistry when I first heard these songs where it didn't click at first with me. And now I'm like, there's a weird chemistry here that you don't get with, which is not what we had in high school. It was the opposite. Believe it or not, I don't think we had good chemistry when we jammed. I think you'll agree with me. I don't think he's been.
No, it sounds a little disjointed.
Yeah, we're probably never going to mesh ever again. Now we revisit it, and this works. Like, he's got these ideas. We're inspired by some kind of influence. And so I had a couple beers. I'm just going to be honest. not drunk, but I just had a beer. I was a little giggly. I was on my way to a movie. I don't know. I was staring at a poster or something up there. And I'm just going, what can we do with this? And I'm really trying to think about it. And the idea just went off in my head. We all know bands say it's all been done before, right? I'm telling you, I can't think of a band, and I know a lot of bands that do this concept. I can't think of any. If they are, I'd love to hear them. And if they're doing it, I'd love to hear if they're successful at it. So there's a big tribute band here in Colorado. They sell out. Yeah, they sell out the Red Rocks Theater. They're a Pink Floyd tribute band. The Beatles, there's a band that does it. We've all heard that. We've all heard people do cover songs. So I said, what if the artist on here, what if Jimi Hendrix isn't here anymore? What would a song sound like in today's market, in a modernized world with modern concepts and lyrics? What would it sound like? It almost blows your mind because you know where Clapton is right now, right? But the artist doesn't have to be dead. I'm just using this as an example. I said, what would the next people sometimes argue? I wish Metallica was like old Metallica or not new Metallica. I'm like, okay, what if they were old Metallica? What would their next song sound like next? Because everybody wants kind of that weird progression. There's bands that aren't here anymore. What would Kurt Cobain's next song sound like if he wasn't here? So we came up with making the Dedic8 name because we want to dedicate a song to that band. And we want to try to get it to the key of that band as possible. I'm a human, though. My vocal range only goes so far. I kind of enjoy karaoke. Maybe this is where some of this comes from. I actually, in karaoke, sing stuff I would not on a music project at all. I'm into heavy metal, death metal, extreme metal is my favorite, but I like Garth Brooks. I like Eminem. I got a diverse, so I have sang Eminem at karaoke. I've done all these just as a joke. So maybe that's where some of this comes from, but I was like, what if we just start dedicating songs to artists? We try to make it in the key of them. That doesn't mean I'm going to sound like, I'm not trying to sound like a parody. I'm not trying to be like Weird Al Yankovic, or even though I guess Keith would agree, this is probably a parody project. But we're serious parody, meaning I don't want to sound like, if we end up doing Metallica, I don't want to per se sound like, even though they're a huge influence of mine, I want to know in me, Greg McMillan, if I try to write it the way they did in this world, but here's the catch. This sounds still easy. Not quite. You still got to be able to, we know as musicians, you got to be able, as a singer, to be able to hit those ranges and stuff. And I'll wait to give some of the bands we've been talking about, say some surprise. There's ones I told Keith, I don't know if I can sing the range. It's high. So these tribute bands, when they do Pink Floyd and Beatles, they're staying in their element. I'm way out of my element right now. Keith has given me a couple songs that are out of my range. Matter of fact, it's caused a couple spatters, nothing major, but I'm like, Keith, this artist, I won't reveal yet because we'll save us surprises. I'm like, this person never sings in key A. Come on now. I can't sing in A. And he doesn't sing in A. We had a whole conversation one night about this. I'm like, when's the last time you heard so-and-so sing in A? Come on now. And we were getting out guitars and matching notes. I'm like, yeah.
And there's a concept on top of the concept, right?
Some are more meta than others. But yeah, to his point, what we're doing is we're writing a song as if we were, and it's not necessarily a band. It could be dedicated to a concept, like a movie or an artist or something. But most of them are bands for the most part, what we're doing. But it's like, what if we wrote an original song in the style of, so for example, like a Metallica. What if we wrote an original Metallica song, but lyrically, it would have to have something to do with Metallica. So there's some kind of a meta-ness to it. Some are much more meta than others. Some of ours are a little more conceptual than meta.
Like, give us an example. Or do you want to talk about the song we're going to hear?
We can talk about the one we're doing now. So the one off of Worship Music, it's Anthrax. So when I heard Worship Music, I wrote this piece of music. But like to Greg's point, I don't think melody, I don't think lyrics, because that's not what I do. But I wrote, like, if I was going to write like an Anthrax style song, what would it sound like? And then Greg had to take it and go, okay, but what am I going to do? Am I going to write like a history of the band, or am I going to? And then we had the idea, the kind of aha moment. Well, anthrax is a thing on its own, right? Like, it's a disease. So what if we wrote a song about the disease anthrax in the style of the band Anthrax? So that's about as meta as we're ever going to get. Like that's like so in your face meta. It's crazy. So it sounds like Anthrax. It's about Anthrax, but it's also completely an original song. So even if people didn't realize it was a parody or a tribute or whatever it is, the song would hold on its own anyway. So people would hear the song and like it or not like it for what it is. But if you get what it is, it's kind of cooler. And then to kind of bring Kevin into it.
Yeah, which I didn't know this. You brought me into this, which you can explain, but also I had no idea what the concept of the band was, so I was not recording in the style of these artists.
Well, yeah, but we got to remember the first 3 songs we did, which I think you've done 4 tracks so far, even though I think Greg and I are a little ahead. So yeah, the original, I think you did the bass lines years ago for a couple of these when I just had the demos. So before I was even working with Greg, before we had any ideas, you had already done the bass. So yeah, the concept came after. So, but in the future, now as other songs come, you'll know what it is. So you'll know.
I was like, I didn't study that artist or anything. I just did my own thing.
Exactly. But now moving forward, that's what's going to be. So I wrote my brother in because obviously he's a world-class bass player, member of Green Jello, although he doesn't play bass for Green Jello, which is odd. But that's a whole nother thing.
I have. You have for Green Jello.
So yeah.
Did you tell Greg about the Green Jello thing?
Yep, I'm a big fan. Matter of fact,
I know, but the album 333, the original. Did you tell him about the original concept?
I don't think I did.
333 was actually that every band was going to be called the name of the band that they're parodying.
Nice.
So
they actually had this idea before you, but never actually executed it.
Right. But the cool thing is, if you think about,
that's what.
Go ahead.
So Anthem is Allman Brothers.
By the way, I meant to apologize. I got to play
B-52s. Super Elastic is White Zombie. Well, you can tell.
Well, to kind of push that,
they're not writing about them though.
Yeah, there's another added aspect to this.
Yeah. But it was interesting that I heard that. I was like, oh wow, that's what Dedic8's doing. Green Jelly almost did that.
I've heard a lot of bands, and I don't want to say something arrogant or uneducated because I could be. That exists. Music's right up there, and I suck at trivia, but music I'd go to head on trivia. I was telling people on my social media page, I'm like, I'm not saying this just to say it. I'm like, tell me a band that's doing this right now and doing it correctly.
Yeah, nobody's doing it right now like this.
I'm like, who? So let's say somebody does Madonna. Okay, now can they do Nirvana? Now can they do Slayer? That is crazy. If you can really.
So is there a Madonna track in the works?
Not cover songs.
Close.
Well, there is now because Madonna is also a thing on its own, so you can write about Madonna.
Yeah, maybe
Madonna the whore. Yeah, that's actually an interesting idea.
Well, now you have to make it happen.
So,
but the cool thing is we're just being honest, because most things in music have already been done. I mean, to be honest. So every new band out there, whether it's Hailstorm or whatever, is taking from somebody else, whether it's Led Zeppelin or Guns N' Roses or whatever. We're just, we should do. Well, we didn't go that far, but there is something like that coming. Let's just put it out there.
Yeah. I couldn't quite read it, but that's a definite yes. We'll just say it.
Nirvana is coming. Nirvana is. We've recorded. We weren't
going to say it. Nirvana is coming.
It is coming. But basically, we're just.
Are we saying we're like?
It.
Yeah, to Key's point, I'm human. I cannot sing Dio. Most people can't. I can try. Most people can't play Eddie Van Halen on guitar. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
We're not trying to be. We're not trying to be a cover band. We want to hit the essence of that band. But here's the hook. You followed everything so far. There's one more aspect of it. I told Keys, I want to modernize this stuff. I don't want it old. Any of it. I want it that it applies in today's market and to have a crazy, clever hook in each song. Which is struggle for me as a writer, because he knows from my other project, I tend to do biography work. So if you give me a band, I don't know, Stripe or anybody, I'm going to start reading if I don't know about the band. Yeah, I'm going to read about it and go, what did they do? And then I'm going to write a song about what they did in their life.
They threw Bibles at people, didn't they?
Yeah, I gravitate towards that. To writing about stories, and it's not clever enough, in my opinion, to state about a band. So what we do is we try to hook it in modern. As he said, Anthrax is a disease. It is a band. We're dedicating it to both the disease and the band. And here, in this example, you're going to see people don't know Anthrax has been around. It cannot be traced in origin. It's one of the oldest diseases that ever existed. It goes back beyond. It's what in biblical sense, they believe it was the plague that gave the animals and humans boils when the plagues of Egypt were released. It's right up to now, to 2016, in the Siberian permafrost potholes in Siberia, if everybody remembers, in 2016 melted. Anthrax came out and killed like 75 deer, 100 of them. And because anthrax is just waiting to come out of these, and I'm going to be honest, not trying to get too much into, politics. Everybody has opinions. I'm a kind of in the middle guy, see both ends, but people debate climate change. What I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if you're for or against climate change, or you believe it or not. This is happening. It happened in 2016. It melted the permafrost potholes, they have this anthrax. Here's the scarier part. There's more diseases in there that humanity hasn't seen in years. God knows what's under those potholes. And it's already been released once that it killed deer like it was nothing. And the theory is these Siberia, they are melting right now. And they believe more of this stuff is coming. And people talk about apocalypse, end of the world. There's your end of the world. It will melt. And anthrax is probably the least of our fears of what the hell else is under it. I mean, that's diseases and plagues that plagued humanity before it froze over. And so the Black Plague is in there. If anybody's listening to this podcast, go Google what I'm saying. There are so many diseases sitting. It's a ticking time bomb, and it's defrosting in Siberia right now. So let's go back a little history on the song. Keith, stop me because I don't want to ruin the song, but we're talking about the concept in the song. This is the hook. This is the modernization of Anthrax. This is how we make Anthrax. We ain't talking about Anthrax in the 80s. We're talking about it right now. So everybody remembers in 2001, people sent the Anthrax and the letters right after the 9/11 attacks, right? This is a current event that's happening with this disease. Not so many people know about what's going on in Siberia right now or in the ice cap. So I'm just going to answer I will tell you my stance on global warming. I personally, the people that are saying it's happening at expedited rates, I don't think it's happening as fast as they think it is, but I do agree that it's happening. So I'm kind of in the middle of left and right on that topic. But what I'm talking about in Siberia, what's happening is the truth. It's not speculation. You can go look up. I'm just stating a fact, not a political opinion or anything, just trying to stay neutral. I'm just go ahead, Google this story. There is so many diseases sitting under that ice that already got melted once, and the ice is continuing to melt right now, and God knows what else everybody's worried about, COVID. There's probably something much worse.
Good luck doing a song about them.
So basically what you're saying, Greg, is if people start dying of anthrax, people will start Googling anthrax and our song will be a huge hit. That's what I'm hearing, right? The people that live will be Googling it and we'll be millionaires.
I think they'll probably hit the band first, though.
And anybody watching this, by the way, they're like, God, Greg is really knowledgeable about this. Well, I researched it. I didn't know like you guys did. I'm telling you what the research is. I did it. I was surprised too. I'm like, well,
yeah, that's
I'll be
what
honest.
I keep saying. I keep asking them if there's going to be more scum dogs coming out of the ice.
It could be.
And they're like, well, it depends if they need them or not.
And the other cool thing is,
because that's the origin of their mythos as well.
And originally, when I reached out to Greg, I was just looking for him to sing. I was like, yeah, I needed a singer. I have all these tracks. But then as we got going, I was like, you know what? Greg's an amazing guitar player. So why don't we have him do some guitar pyrotechnics? So basically, what we did is when the album comes out, we split the duties. So yeah, I'm still going to be playing some leads on stuff, but I also wanted to showcase him on some. So the video we're going to see is a Greg showcase video, because especially when it comes to the metal stuff, like Greg said, he's more into the metal scene than I am. I'm more of the rock guy. So for a true metal solo, he was always going to do a way better job of it than I was ever going to do. So to be able to kind of not only show him off as a singer, but this also has him showing off his lead skills, which are pretty incredible. So I was kind of excited to do that. Let's do it. Let's premiere the video. Let's put it on.
Because I can't stay up much later.
Yeah. It's past everyone's bedtime except mine.
So this is the first thing. And by the way, thank you.
Oh, did I start too soon?
Yeah, go back. Let me start. I just want to say thanks to Greg, because Greg edited this and he put in a crap ton of hours over the last 2 weeks to be able to get this on time for this show. So I want to
thank you, Greg.
And
I haven't watched it yet, so it's fresh for me too.
So this will be a good.
You're gonna love the ending. Kevin.
Oh, okay, great.
So I'm going to shut up. So this is for Kevin's audience. This is Kevin. This is me. This is Greg. This is our new project, Dedic8. And I'm going to shut up and we can play the video.
No one knows our exact origin or the places that we have been. Some say we were the plagues of Egypt that helped stop all the sin. Pestilence of bloodshot through the land. Oils pour on animals and man. Spreading our spores since ancient history. We were always here, our hidden mystery. In the 17th century, we were known as the Black Bane. In the 20th century, they dropped us on cities from a plane. Bioweapons tested on mankind. Human guinea pigs get sick and die. Spreading our spores since ancient history. We were always here, our hidden mystery. Come on, everybody! their mail and lives were lost. In 2016 there was warmer weather. We thought out in Siberian permafrost. Climate change has brought us back to life. Death was waiting underneath the ice, spreading our spores since ancient history. We were always here, a hidden mystery. Global warming will soon set us free, exposing the things we've never seen, spreading old disease, frozen in history. Death will come fast from the ghosts of the past. Anthrax. 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 Anthrax.
That's me.
So what'd you think?
I know it's Mom's new favorite song.
Oh yeah.
It is funny because Greg was picking on me. Because when I told him I was going to do the other video too for the pop stuff, he's like, "Pop? What are you talking about? You're metal." I'm like, "No. You're the metal guy. I'm not the metal guy." And he's like, "Well, I don't know. Anthrax is pretty metal, and you kind of wrote like the main hooks and stuff." I'm like, "Well, that's probably the heaviest thing I've ever written." So generally, my forte is definitely normally not in the metal genre, but that's
You're a
probably the
hard rock.
heaviest.
You're a hard rock guy.
I'm a rock guy.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
you
mean,
are.
I guess back in the day you could say Van Halen was sort of heavy metal, but not compared to what's out there
Yeah, I wouldn't
today.
call that metal. Yeah, it's classic rock now.
I'm gonna sign off.
Okay, thanks
don't
for
want
joining, Mom.
So long. Good seeing you all. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Hey, Mom, we got something coming for you. Do.
Uh-oh.
Do we?
What
Wow.
do we have coming?
We asked Keith, Keith did a piano piece. I'll tell you who it is. We
Oh, yeah,
dedicate.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
gonna like it.
It's someone. We're going to dedicate a song to someone you've seen live,
Recently.
and it's not Paul McCartney.
Oh, can I guess?
You
We're
can
not
guess.
doing metal.
Elton John?
It is Elton John.
Okay.
I wrote an Elton John piano ballad.
Who just played his final show, last week? So goodbye,
Oh,
Elton.
Cool.
From
Very
touring. He's still alive.
Yeah. So I wanted to tell you that before you left. I'm not doing this heavy metal.
Oh, okay.
And then Madonna's coming too, right, guys?
We'll see. I don't
Now you said it, you got to do it.
Never know.
know.
All right. Good night, all.
All right,
Good luck.
bye.
If we-
Right.
Bye.
Good night.
I'll remove her
Yeah.
for her.
But it's I mean, to the point is, it's not all going to be metal. It's going to be a bunch
Ozzy,
of
huh?
yeah. I don't know. We may have considered
This
Ozzy.
guy's on
There
it,
may
man.
be an
He
Ozzy.
doesn't even
This
know.
guy- I think this guy has an inside source. Is this guy like listening to our recording sessions or what?
I don't know.
But there may be an Ozzy track on.
By the
there
way,
that
Oh, sorry. I was gonna. I do want to address. Yes, I've heard many people say I sound like Ozzy, but that's how I sing. I wasn't trying to sing like Joey Belladonna. I'm trying to sing in the same key as him, and that is what I sound like when I sing Joey Belladonna from Anthrax. Again, we're not trying to be. I'm not trying to. If I tried to imitate Joey, it would be horrible, and he's such an amazing singer. This is Greg McMillan singing Anthrax. This is if they asked me to come in the studio and say, "Hey, write our next song." This is what it's going to be, and I asked Keith to be on the drums and rhythm, and I did the leads. Kevin, by the way, I laughed so hard. My wife laughed when she saw this video. I said, he's not going to expect us to use the coffee mug scene at the end of the video. I saw it, and I just kept I was like, what the hell is that? I'm like, he knows it's empty in the video, and you're just drinking air. And I was I told Keith we're keeping it in the video.
Yeah, there
After
was
I
nothing
remodeled
actually
to
in it.
Nelson's history, yeah, so I go, he's never gonna guess we used that in the video.
Well,
So
hey.
surprise.
Yeah, that was cool.
But
yeah, but for anybody listening though, yeah. So if you're not a metal fan, don't worry. When the album comes out, that there's going to be plenty of stuff that's not metal.
No, we
There's
didn't
going to
think you were
be
judgmental.
yeah, we're gonna dive into some metal, you know, like Ozzy and Metallica and Anthrax. But we're also gonna have some other
Madonna.
famous artists that were around.
Oh, how's my
surprised.
song going? Did you guys connect with that one?
Yes, he's working on.
Yeah,
As a matter
I
of
think
fact,
you immediately connected with that one. You're like, it sounds like this. And I'm like, exactly. Right?
I don't want to let all the cats out of the bag, but
No, I submitted a song for the project.
You're breaking up. I can't.
Yeah, we got a little reception thing going on, but I'm not going to let every cat out of the bag, but everybody's opinion's the same, so you would disagree with me? Possibly. I am going to pick the king of king punk bands that I think is going to fit that, and I told Keith what the criteria is. I've told very few people who I know won't share the secret who what the criteria is, but it's crazy. Again, Keith and I had this when I first heard it. Going back to what I said, I was like, I wasn't getting it. I was like, you told me what this was in the vein of. I get it now. Now that I sunk my teeth into it, you're gonna love what we did with your song and what the topic matter is about.
We can talk offline.
Yeah.
I'm sure I could check my Dropbox folder.
Yeah, you should update it. Yeah, it's that's it. Yeah, I don't know how people are gonna digest that one, but guess what? It's a Dedic8, and it's how they would have done it for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So,
I'll probably have to re-record.
And we're gonna bring it right to the. Yeah, it's like I said, when you bring something in today, because what was during the punk movement and metal isn't today. There's a lot of. This is a different world now than it was then. I mean, I know people might debate that little. We have Chappelle now. We had the Ramones and the Misfits back then. Whatever. In the end, what offended people then is a whole different thing of what's offending people now. And there's certain bands you dig out of the closet. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is
it's a lot. I'm sure.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that Greg and I talked about was keeping the lyrics and everything PG-13 so that you don't get mature ratings and it can be more accessible to people. So even though there might be semi-offensive things, it's not going to be over the top. We're keeping it toned down so that it's not.
There's a place for the dwarves and the meat men, and, you know.
Of course, the genitorturers and
they're on a different level, but sure.
But yeah, and don't get me wrong.
Fear.
Yeah, to adding Keith's point, I've got a couple of projects, but I'll be honest, I kind of love this one a lot, the concept we've come up with. I did want to do a more offensive project as a side project, not to say I just want to offend people, because all I got to do is be me to do that. Keith knows me personally. Trust me, it happens. No, I just want to start content matter. Like on that project deals with certain Hollywood diets, serial killers, and it's just over the top, some of the lyrics, but we get the end reading. I'm like, I want a general audience for this project. And matter of fact, you're gonna laugh. You guys laugh, but there's another fun thing you guys can go look up, like permafrost potholes in Siberia tonight. YouTube changed its policy about a year ago. It's becoming very kid friendly. Like any blood's better than anything video. I mean, gamers are
You're breaking up.
They're getting emeralded. Yeah, should I be in up now?
I think I'm
in a but
Big Brother's breaking you up.
I think YouTube's hitting you right now.
Yeah. They're like, shut up.
Shut that guy down.
By the way, I'm out in the middle of a desert in Pueblo, Colorado, right now, visiting my in-laws. I can't believe there's any reception.
Well, you're in there a little bit.
So a year ago, YouTube changed their policies. They're banning gamers, anything with they want to gets on YouTube, they're not going to be offended. This all started about a year ago. They've already had their guidelines, but it's really bad now. So you're going to laugh, Kevin. When I saw your skit, I laughed. I'm like, Keith, this thing got blood splatter and a mannequin. What the F is up with the mannequin? I was laughing. I loved it. I couldn't have loved it more. And we are.
I didn't have any like gas masks.
So Keith, if we get the M rating, you can blame him.
Yeah.
I think the video is pretty painful.
We also decided not to put the strobe warning on it because I think you and I both use strobes.
Yeah, I don't know if you use any of my strobe clips, but there was one that was all strobe.
So you might be more familiar with this than me. I researched, or anybody paying attention to the show, I'm very confused about the epilepsy warning videos. Something I read said the law and it has to be in videos, but then I read no, it's the author, and then I just went on YouTube. I'm like, wait a minute here. I'm into death metal, and every death metal video is strobe with a warning. But we all forget one of the most famous songs in metal is nothing but strobe. Enter Sandman does not have a warning on it. So
if you picked up on that, I think what he was saying is he was researching strobe warnings, and he read that it needed it. He read that it didn't need it. But because the most popular video of all time, Enter Sandman, has strobes and doesn't have a warning, we figured we'd be okay.
I don't think it was that strong.
Yeah. You already offended most of the people I work with.
Oh.
They don't believe it's real. But again, you know what? I don't think it matters whether you believe it or not. I think what matters is there could be these deadly things under there that people don't think about. People think about it's the global warming that's going to kill you with tidal waves, when what Greg is saying is, no, the disease underneath there in Guar are going to kill you way before the tidal waves are going to hit you. It's what I think the concept is.
Yeah, and Keith lives in Florida.
And
I do.
So.
With that great hurricane.
And I told Keith, believe it or not.
Fake hurricane.
You guys are going to laugh. I told Keith, I said, I want to avoid politics, but I'll be very honest about global warming. It wasn't I didn't believe in it. I believe in science. I know it's happening. I didn't believe it was happening to some people. They act like the world's going to end tomorrow. And I'll tell you why I don't believe that, me personally. I believe humans are evil, beyond evil. I believe we will kill each other, and Mother Nature, the earth, has healed itself many times. They go wipe out the dinosaurs. So that's my belief, is we will kill them before that ever happens. But that aside, what I said is true. It's not a political opinion. Look up how many deers died when the ice caps melted. There's a lot of weird disease. There's like, don't quote me on this part, 40. I only covered one in the song. Black plague is sitting under there too, not just anthrax, which that's a fun one, isn't it? By the way, we still have a fun fact, little episode of Black Plague here in Colorado, if nobody knows that. Look it up, the squirrels carry it. I heard they get rabies, they don't have the spit glands, but yeah, we've got rabies that comes back every year here in Colorado.
I think he said the squirrels have the black plague in Colorado.
Yes, you could go Google this.
Big Brother took him off.
I think they did. He was getting into some state secrets there. I'm pretty sure that he was, and the government's like, no.
Thank you for joining us, Greg. Maybe next time we'll have better reception.
Yeah, I think we should start landing this plane too, because I have to get up.
So.
I have an early morning, but I
thought
it was fun.
Definitely, I want to play a trailer and plug next week.
And definitely good. People can check us out, because both Total Stranger and Dedic8 you can find on Facebook and on Instagram. And
find me. Just follow the links on my stories and stuff.
And we'll put links to the videos.
I didn't make a banner for this show, but just you know where to find us.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you know anything about Martin Bisi?
Is he a producer?
He is a producer and a musician. And I actually, right before this show, I finished a documentary about him. I can't believe it's almost 10 years old already.
Wow.
But I want to play a trailer for it, and I want to put it out there. And I'll say this I doubt there's this many people who are going to respond to it, but for the first 10 people, if you rent this on Amazon for $2 and give me some good questions for him based on that viewing, I'll pay the $2 for you. Okay. And I want to play the trailer for this documentary, and because it's really cool and I recommend it. It's called Sound and Chaos: The Story of BC Studios.
We didn't really know what we were doing.
I was just a kid with a lot of chutzpah.
Back then, nobody went to Brooklyn. They were kind of like pioneers.
There was a knowledge that this was going to help a lot of underground people make music.
It wasn't even called hip-hop, really. It was just this new weird thing that was happening.
The collaboration, everyone was on their A game.
What Sonic Youth was doing at the time was pretty radically different than what anybody was doing, so we didn't know exactly how to record what we were doing or how to capture it.
It was just a skanky basement, but it had sort of naturally decent acoustics.
These stairs have actually ended up on quite a few records.
I love the way drums sound down there.
I like it. I like how it sounds.
Martin would just let you kind of go haywire in the basement and destroy whatever you wanted to.
From what was a very small scene of like indie rock, experimentalism, and counterculture, and it's really kind of snowballed into something big.
To get nominated for a Grammy and to go on stage and perform and then win, there's nothing else to say.
I kind of miss those days of chaos.
Anyone who's been in this area and made music that mattered at one point connected with this guy over the last 35 years.
One of those historical places that can actually generate new, inspiring material.
Yes. So relating to my birthday gift to you, there's Bill Laswell. And also relating to me, my drummer from my album, Welcome to My Pity Party, Brian Biglione, as well. You can see them all in this documentary. I have a Black Friday sale for anyone who wants to buy my record. $5 digital download, $15 for the hand-drawn, uncensored CDs, physical media, and the t-shirts are on sale too. So
featuring me and Amani Coppola and Cousin Pat and Brian Biglione.
Yeah, Brian, who was just in that trailer for that documentary you just saw, and also Martin
Slim from Green Jelly.
Yeah. Martin has also worked with I don't know. They produced the first Whitney Houston song. They recorded the Ramones, Iggy Pop, our past guest Jane Jensen, he's worked with her, the World Inferno Friendship Society, the Dresden Dolls, lots of stuff with Bill Laswell, Bootsy Collins. Like, I'm not super well versed in his whole career, but there's some albums that I definitely grew up on that Martin Beasy was a part of. So check it out, watch the documentary, join the chat. I'm telling you, if you watch the documentary and give me some questions, I'll give you $2 for it. That's my documentary. What else do I have coming up? Oh,
no, I'm done.
Nope, that's it. Let's see. I have an announcement coming up. Oh yeah, so there's a flyer for the movie. And then after that, Jeffrey Wengrofsky, I hope I'm saying that correctly. We just premiered a short film that I helped him film at a Halloween short films festival. And we're going to talk about that and more. And then December 15th, Lexaterrestrial from the album, my alien rapper friend, will be on the show. And this just announced today, right now, December 29th, Haley Bowery and the Manimals, my friends in the Manimals, who I've been making music videos and filming their shows for years. And there might be just the best rock band in New York City at the moment. So check it out. And then there's one more I got to book before the end of the year. And then, that's a lot of shows I've done this year. Getting up to like 30, I think.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And then you just got to get some time together so that we can put together a Putty Root album.
Well, I'm thinking of taking January off for the show, and maybe season 2 will start in February. Because I do want, I love that I've been producing content finally, because part of the reason I do this is because all my projects take way too damn long, and this is something I can put out there every week. But now I also got to like work on my own shit so I can progress that, and especially the music and the videos for the album. The other 2 albums are in the process of being, cleaned up, and all the material is there. So hopefully soon there'll be a 2nd and 3rd album. And that's my news.
Cool.
Go buy my record on Bandcamp, vonesper.bandcamp.com, featuring Evil Kitty Keith.
Woo!
And our last week's guest, Imani Coppola. And that's about it for the VonPod. I think we did it.
I think we did it. I think it was a great day. Thank you for having me.
Oh yes, happy birthday!
And thanks for Greg and Mom for joining. Yes. That was good fun.
That was unexpected.
And Viva la Brazil!
Yes, for anyone who's still in the room.
Nah, they're not. But they may watch the replay later when they're awake. Who knows?
Yeah, with closed captions on it, maybe.
Well, a lot of them speak English. Believe it or not, like Bia, and I know my sister-in-law speaks some English. George speaks some English.
Oh,
so
here's my yes. Look, they're all one-of-a-kind, hand-drawn covers. Go get one before they're all gone. So I'm not going to make another one, or if I do, it'll be different. So
it'll be volume 2.
Well, it'll be something. I don't know. But it would be a different cover or something different about it, at least. So, happy birthday.
Thank you. It's my lovely wife.
Who's in the other room somewhere. I guess I don't have anything to play us out on. Maybe I can revive some of this.
Or you can do the Evil Kitty track. You can play us out with, even though there's no video to it.
Right.
With that may.
Wait, do you want to follow up? Do you want to follow up on this story?
Well, I mean, if Pat or Ed wants to put in the comments or watch this, to sit there and say what they remember, and was it the recording, was it rehearsal, are they in the gang vocal in this track? Maybe they are, because I know there is a gang vocal.
This is a follow-up from a story Pat was telling on his episode. So
this is just a rough kind of mix of, this is the song, it's Transcendent Love, that Evil Kitty, it wasn't one of our songs. We didn't even play this
hoping
live,
this video
ever.
works.
There's no video. It's just the song.
Well, I'm hoping it opens in this program. I think it will. All right, we're gonna play it out on this. See you next
Thanks, everybody.
Peace.
Can we look past the mirrors, right into our eyes, yell out how we're feeling, scream no foolish pride, take me how I am now, accepting
now, a word from our sponsors.
Welcome to my pity party. Everyone's invited. Celebrate your misery. Apart but united. Hits. I'm writing hits. Recording hits. I'm making hits. And you don't wanna miss it.
Comment below! Comment below! Comment below!
Like, share, subscribe.